Joining us now, Joe DeGeneva, legal analyst, former U.S. Attorney to the District of Columbia. Joe, good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, Joe, I want you to listen to this exchange between Fox News anchor Bill Hemmer and DOJ spokeswoman Kerry Kupik, and then we're going to talk about it.
John Durham, when will there be news on that?
Well, we hope to see a report by the end of the summer. Obviously, this is a criminal investigation. The goal is not a report. It's a criminal investigation. But certainly there is a story to be told there. The American people deserve resolution. And frankly, justice deserves resolution.
Okay,
justice needs to be restored. And that report, I think, is going to be really pivotal to the restoration of that one-tiered system of justice.
So we should see a report by the end of the summer. Are you hopeful?
I am. I'm a little surprised by the notion that John Durham is going to publish a report before filing criminal charges. That's really fascinating to me. When I was an independent counsel of the United States investigating the Clinton passport scandal, I decided whether or not to bring charges. Then I filed my report. That's the usual sequence. So it's pretty obvious, and that was actually a very surprising bit of public information from Kerry Kupik. So apparently the plan is to issue a public report about the nature of the coup d'etat and what went into it before criminal charges are filed. That's going to set up an interesting series of legal challenges to any charges that are brought later by suggesting that the report prejudiced potential jurors. But I'm all for it. I hope they issue the report as quickly as possible and that criminal charges follow thereafter. I'm fascinated by the sequence, but I'm delighted that it's happening.
Yeah, this has always been one of the prevailing mysteries about what precisely Durham would do. As you've said many times, Durham's job is not to create a report; it's to produce indictments, and we're expecting those. It could very well be, Joe, that these things happen at the same time, in concert with one another.
Of course, that's exactly what could happen. You've got it right, Vince. I have suspected all along that Durham was going to do his best to get something done by September. Or actually, I suspected it would be June, and indeed I knew that was the timetable. But the COVID-19 virus put off some grand jury appearances. And I do know that they are in negotiations with some people for some guilty pleas. So it may very well be that some guilty pleas occur initially at the same time the report is issued. That they may piggyback those together simultaneously.
You just said you know that some people are negotiating on guilty pleas. Do you know anything on the status of John Brennan, whose name has routinely come up as not yet being interviewed, but potentially soon being interviewed by John Durham?
No, and in fact, Brennan would be the last person in the world you would interview. You would only interview somebody like Brennan, who is believed to be the ringleader in the initiation of the false counterintelligence investigation of Trump and his campaign. You would only interview him last because he would be the chief conspirator in a criminal conspiracy, not a political conspiracy. It was that as well, but it was also a criminal conspiracy to violate the civil rights of a number of people. So Durham would be the last person, and you would only interview him after some people had pleaded guilty and agreed to cooperate.
Right.
So you could do what they did to General Flynn, bring him in for an interview and hope to entrap him in a lie. But I can tell you this, Brennan will never agree to be interviewed. He will never make an appearance before a grand jury. He will take the fifth because he doesn't have any choice now.
Yeah, Adam Schiff did a podcast on crooked media with John Lovett. And in this, he talked about the Durham investigation. Here's what Adam Schiff had to say.
One of the concerns I have with Bill Barr is that the worst is yet to come. I mean, he's got a terrible, destructive track record as it is, and it may get worse in the coming days. But what we have seen largely is Barr's intervention to protect the president, Barr's misrepresentation of Mueller's work, Barr's intervention in cases to help Trump cronies like Stone and Flynn and others. What we have not yet had full visibility on is not Barr's use of the shield to protect corruption writ large of his boss, Donald Trump, but the sword, how he may be using the power of the Justice Department through Durham or others to go after the president's enemies. And in many respects, that is a far greater, more serious abuse of the power of the Justice Department than his use of the shield.
So it seems as if they're getting their talking points in order that, of course, discredit William Barr before the report from John Durham comes out. Is that where they're going to go with this?
Absolutely. They have been doing this from the very first time that Bill Barr, during his confirmation hearing, said that spying had gone on against the Trump campaign. This is a design strategy to delegitimize the Attorney General of the United States and any of his work product. And with the complicity of the mainstream media and the lying to the American people about what Bill Barr has done and is doing, these things can, in fact, accomplish their goal, which is to create public distrust of any final product, dirty up jury pools so that people come in prejudiced against the Justice Department or the case and in favor of the conspirators. This is not surprising. This is classic Marxist ideology, classic Marxist strategy. What you watched and listened to in that piece with Schiff was Orwell's 1984. This is doublespeak. And what it is designed to create a knowingly false narrative so as to disrupt public discourse and public faith in institutions. The Democrats have gotten very good at this. It's actually what their party is about now, lying publicly to change policy and legal goals. That is a disgrace for one of the two major parties, but the Democrats don't care. They've made a deal with the devil, and they're sticking to it.
You know, it's amazing to me, Joe, as you say all of this, like normal people would hang their head in shame if they were caught with all of the lies that Adam Schiff has told in public, everything from evidence of collusion to insisting that the Pfizer warrant applications against Carter Page were on the up and up, when the evidence comes out and it shows actually, no, there were dramatic problems with it, 17 of them, according to the Inspector General of the Justice Department. Yet Adam Schiff persists. Why?
Because he has to. In the old days, the Speaker of the House would have shut him down, taken away his chairmanship, and he would have been sent into the cloisters. But Nancy Pelosi has been completely compromised by the Marxist left of her party. Remember how she was against impeachment, and then all of a sudden she shifted, she bought in, and that was it. Yeah. Once Pelosi changed ground, this was over. Adam Schiff was guaranteed longevity. He was guaranteed a continuing say in the future of the Democratic Party, and he was guaranteed a say in the destruction in a Marxist-themed theme park of the United States system of democracy. We're watching a cultural civil war unfold, whether it's Portland, Seattle, Minneapolis, wherever discord is occurring. These are leftist-controlled local governments which are perfectly happy to have discord, violence, and especially violence against the police because they are looking for ways to deconstruct society. For example, that's why Adam Schiff announced that he's going to continue to investigate Trump even if Trump loses and leaves office. Can you imagine what that will do to the fabric of a country for a chairman of an intelligence committee to continue to investigate a former president? Mm-hmm. This is where we're headed, and this is not going to end well. This is already getting very ugly, and we are very, very few steps away from violence.
Joe diGenova, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Have a great week.
You bet. You too.